All right, hey folks. So I understand that I am not. No, I'm sorry that I am not able to live stream today, but since I still have internet connections, just that it's very choppy. I think I could make a video instead and upload it to so that you'll see it, because I do believe that I owe you a content today. Um, what we were supposed to do is play in rank with the second Scuttlers deck with Von Yeep, and this is actually the one. But maybe through this one I could combine an explanation and thorough idea behind this deck, as well as the changes that I've made with the Noxus variant, which is this one. All right. So let's start with the changes for the Noxus Scuttlers. Initially, what we have been running around is more of a discard and draw mechanic with Astute Academic and Arena Bookkeeper. Where is he? Where is Arena Bookkeeper? There he is, and of course the Rummage. But since we're already relying on a core structure that's already combo-ish, which is the Scuttlers and Von Yeep, it kind of added more of like a disruption, since we're looking into having the Academic Bookkeeper and Rummage all in one in the first 3 turns, and it doesn't always happen because of RNG. So we're going to have the issue of consistency. So what I've thought of is that or rather, on top of that consistency issue with the Academic and Von Yeep, we also have an issue of reach, because once we get to flood the board with successfully with the Scuttlers and maybe with Academics and Bookkeeper, the issue is that they're easily blocked and traded off. So I've managed to create a new version which won't have an issue with reach. At the same time, it's very consistent, as they're not going to rely too much on our hand. So we have a piece or a core combo with Von Yeep on turn 4, and we float the mana on turn 3, assuming we have Jury Rig and Scrap Dash Assembly in our hand, as well as Von Yeep. By turn 4, we drop Von Yeep, summon the 3 rigs that are going to be 3/3 instead of 1/1. So by that, we have 4 additional units on the board on turn 4, and we could attack with that. So that's the ideal combo for this deck. However, there's also the issue of not having the attack token every evens, which is turn 2, turn 4. So we're gonna have to mold our way into something that's more consistent. So we have included the Overwhelm and Burn mechanics through Precious Pet, which is going to be practically unblockable in the first 2 turns. Well, first turn. There are some who will be able to block this on the second turn, but even still, it's a very solid unit for aggressive deck. Second would be, we have Boom Crew Rookie, which has an excellent reach, dealing 2 damage for 2 mana and having 3 health, which is really easy to, or which is going to be tough to be removed in the first 2 turns. Then we have Teemo, which has an alternative win condition, though a bit RNG, but he will be able to at least give us a reliable, or not really reliable, but more of like an alternative way to win, and it might be surprising. But if we're able to run his mushrooms in at least more than 50 in the opponent's deck, we can be sure that every time he draws, we're gonna get that poke damage. Also, since he's a 1 mana cost champion, if he gets to be dropped while Von Yeep is on the field, he will become 4/4 or 3/3 to 4/4, which is excellent, right? Then we have Crimson Disciple and Imperial Demolitionist for reach as well, and a good chump blocker for Crimson Disciple, because at turn 2, I assume that there won't be too there are only a few character or a few cards that will be able to trade 1 for 1 with Crimson Disciple, and if not, they're gonna take 1 damage. Of course, if round 2 comes in or passes, and then we still have no Crimson Discipler, and we got her by the end or by the mid game, we don't want her to be dropped without Imperial Demolitionist. And also, Imperial Demolitionist is well enough a combo-ish with Boom Crew Rookie. So basically, it's the fundamental burn mechanics we have included here. Moving on to the Overwhelm, we have Iron Ballista, which is an excellent stat. Has an excellent stat for its cost, especially for aggressive decks. We have Might, which sort of gives us like a combat mechanic, so that our if ever our units get blocked and we have this on our hands and we have the spare mana, we can be sure that the trade won't be or would be impactful. Not to mention, Might actually combos off with Vi, which we'll get on later. Noxian Fervor is another thing. Again, we don't have our Scuttlers will be blocked if ever they are to grow. So to make use of their bodies, we have Noxian Fervor to have that kind of reach. We are sacrificing them, but it's for the best. Crowd Favorite is our alternative combo. If ever we get to have the Jury Rig and the Scrap Dash Assembly, we can float our mana during the third turn and drop Crowd Favorite the following turn. But before dropping Crowd Favorite, we are going to, of course, summon all the Scuttlers. If we are going to do that combo successfully, Crowd Favorite will enter with +3/+3, making him a 5/4. And that's going to be beyond the cost that he originally has, which is 4. So yeah. But of course, Von Yeep is still the core of this deck. We have Vi acting as a finisher. We can finish it. Vi would be immediately, or would quite rather reach a certain significant boost to her power because of how aggressive our mana curve is. So when she is in our hands, she will surely grow. And when she does, we can drop her, attack, and challenge the least the opposing or the unit that has the least amount of defense or health for us to do an overwhelm. If not, we can use Vi as an alternative win condition through her level up effect, or we can use her as a controller to bring in or to pave the way to lethality. Captain Farron is our premium finisher. So basically, he is very helpful when we're facing some decks that are equally aggressive. So Farron is here. So that's pretty much the idea behind this. You can watch the testing that I did, which is the previous video after this one. But we're gonna go to, it's just a recap. We're gonna go to the main event, which is Scuttlers and Elusive. So supposedly I'm going to be taking this to rank today, but unfortunately I can't do that live because my internet is so crappy. Alright? And I really want to do it on live. I could do it recorded, but I don't want you guys to think that I don't want to have that kind of leeway for ideas to think that I recorded the best gameplays and have tried to win as much as I can and then put that video on. So I really want this to be live. So I have that. I retain the integrity and honor my word that I'm only going to be climbing with off-meta decks that I built myself. So, okay. For this one, it operates in the same combo. Again, for the entire week, our decks will have a core combo of Von Yeep and Scuttlers. But it will be varied depending on the other faction that we'll be putting it with. So with the Elusives, it practically is going to have no issue with reach. Also, it combos off with a few units that we have. So ideally, what we want to do is have Sparring Student and Green Glade duo on turn 1 and turn 2. So when Sparring Student arrives, Green Glade duo arrives, and then we float the third mana, for us to be able to summon Scrap Dash Assembly and Jury Rig. Of course, ideally when we do that, we have Von Yeep on the field. When that happens, what it's gonna do is Von Yeep will be on the field, so that will activate the effect of Sparring Student and Green Glade Duo, making them grow their stats once. And then once we summon the three Scuttlers, it will activate again the effect of Green Glade Duo and Sparring Student thrice. So effectively making Sparring Student a 5/5. He's gonna be a Yeti for that round. And Green Glade Duo will be a 6/1 on round 4. So pretty much the only thing that could stop this deck are blockers, or for Green Glade Duo, it would be a Static Shock. But no amount of removal can stop it. Or at least there is going to be a few removals, assuming that the opponent was able to float 7 mana for some reason. But still, it's gonna be effective because we have 6 units on board attacking. And that will be a total of... Green Student will be 5/5. So that's 5 plus 6. That's going to be 11. Plus the 3 Scrap Dashes, or the 3 Scuttlers, which is 3/3s. 3/3, 11 plus 9, that's 20. And Von Yeep at 2, which would be 22. So we're gonna hit for 22 damage on round 4. That's the ideal scenario. And ideally, you only planned for that when you are attacking on evens, because you want that to happen on round 4. And if you do that on round 4 and you don't have the attack token, it's pretty much useless. So what happens is we're gonna have to think around that. If you don't have the attack token on evens, we pretty much have the premier... Thank you for following, Jericho. It still prompts here. We're gonna have to... Or we have the premium elusive kit of Ionia to back us up. Navori Blade Scout and Navori Conspirator is still an excellent combo to be done during the early rounds. And then we still have Shadow Assassin and Zed to fill us in with the offense if we're unable to set up our combo. What else? And we have Jewel Protector, Vi, of course, and of course Dawn and Dusk as our finishers. So Jewel Protectors is actually a good body on its own. That's a 4/4. But for the mana cost, it's a bit too much if we're going to see it as a vanilla. But the main reason why he is on this deck is his ability to breed a threat. Imagine putting that 3/3 on Shadow Assassin or Navori Conspirator, or even Navori Blade Scout, which, by the way, synergizes well with Von Yeep. Same with Sparring Student. So we have these elusives and backups if ever we don't get to do the Scuttlers combo. We also have Dawn and Dusk for us to have that final push, assuming we're gonna be using this with Zed or with anyone who's remotely buffed by Jewel Protector or by Suit Up. It's gonna be worth it. But I highly recommend using this on either an Empowered Vi or the Elusives, or even Zed. But this is ideally going towards excuse me, going towards a threat, or our finisher, or whoever is the biggest threat on the board. Speaking of Suit Up, we have a couple of buffs here in the form of Twin Discipline and Suit Up. I have Suit Up because it's a permanent effect, but I only have it as one because of his effect of being 2 less, or cost 2 less when drawn. And I don't want to have too much of this because 4 mana is pretty high for an aggressive deck. We have them just for us to have that combat mechanics, or the choice to protect a unit, or maybe to push for the lethal move or whatnot. And we have a couple of Static Shock for draw. I'm actually not sure if this is a good idea, so I might have to drop one of this, or even 2, and look for an alternative way of drawing. Maybe I could put Shadow Assassin at 3 instead of Static Shock. Yeah, now that I think of it, I don't think it's going to be worth it. But it does allow us to have that sort of reach and a bit of removal, but we don't want that, to be honest. So maybe I'll put Shadow Assassin to 3, and I'll add an additional... Huh. I could add Key Guardian or Keeper of Mask for a combo. Either I use Key Guardian for draw power or draw ability. Because we can use that draw ability for round 2 if we have a very bad mulligan. So yeah, maybe I'll do that instead. But the berry is just a plus. What we really want here is the draw. I guess that's better. Alright. So we have Progress Day, Shadow Assassin, and Key Guardian as a form of draw mechanics because we really need it. Especially when we're facing against someone or some decks that could remove our units. You know, Casparian Student and Greenglade Duo, but practically all our elusives or almost all our elusives are prone to Withering Wail, to Static Shock, and to some of those board wipes like Avalanche. We really have to be able to come back from that, and we have Progress Day for that, and the other draw mechanics. Now that I'm saying that, I'm thinking Key Guardian is... I'd rather have 2 Progress Day. But we already have Deny to counter that. We have 1 Deny for those big things. So your opponent does board wipe, don't worry, we got Deny. But at 1 copy, we're gonna have to use it wisely, and we're gonna have to play around it wisely. So either 2 Progress Day or 2 Denies, which would be better. That's something that we need to be wondering. I think this should be fine initially. But depends on you if you'd like 2 Denies and 1 Progress Day, that should be fine. This one counters 1 card. This one gives us 3 cards and cut the cost by 1. So I guess this is better. I guess this is better. Because this one is a 1 for 1. Or sometimes 1 for 5. Because it might be... the spell we're countering might be someone or something that's going to wipe our board, so it depends. This one reliably gives us 3 cards and cuts their cost. So we could use this. Ideally, we use Progress Day when we have the attack token, because that way we don't get hurt. We only get to build. So, yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna bring it to AI, just for us to have that ideal vision for this deck. Alright. So we have 2 of our combo. So we want to replace this, obviously. Not too bad, but ideally we'd really want the other one. And we're also lucky because we have the attack token, so we're gonna be able to deal damage quite early on. And we really want to keep our units. Rather than trade them. In this case, I'd rather trade this. Because I can't have him continuously being able to heal. So we're gonna have to trade that off. So now that we have that, there's a chance that we're not gonna be able to draw a Scuttler. So we'd rather have the Elusives instead. That way we could have a reliable offense. Because we can't guarantee that. Remember, if you're going to be a combo and you don't have the pieces on that turn alone, you'd rather go for the safest route. I could block this, but the AI might have a twin discipline, or maybe even a I kind of forgot what that is. It's the shadow shift. I'm very bad with card names, I'm sorry, but I'm very good with remembering their faces. I'm more of like a face guy rather than a name guy. This is what I'll do. Because Zed will empower these two quite constantly.
I walk your path alone.
Hey, Krabby.
We can go for all-out elusives this round, because it looks like we're not going to be able to do anything with Von Yeep at this point.
They'll never see us coming.
I have many faces.
That was a mistake. I should have waited instead. I kind of forgot that Zed summons one, and I misplayed that one.
Next time. Into darkness.
Patrol 1, Patrol 2.
We're gonna give this to the Green Glade duo. And I'm gonna trade the Navori and Shadow Assassin this round so that I'll get to summon 2 more Green Glade next round. Or maybe I'll just trade Navori. This will summon 2.
This one's trouble. My pocket.
So we are able to end the game at round or turn 6. Oh, I forgot. That was bad. I forgot that it wasn't our turn to attack. But I was too excited. But that's really what we want to do this round.
Let's move.
So yeah, as you see, we weren't able to do the Von Yeep combo, but we had the Ionia's Premier Elusive kit to help us out. So it all went well. Let's do one more, and hopefully we're able to showcase the combo that we really want to have. Alright, we have this.
How'd you do that? And punch.
Ooh, all we need now is Von Yeep and we're good to go.
That's my resting face.
Oh, that's not Von Yeep.
How can Brom help?
I'd rather build right now, so that way I could summon these two.
Show me your best. It is easy, see?
Interesting. I could do this. You know what? I won't attack with this one.
Stand behind Brom. Sometimes I see
Oh,
how
blimey.
just needs warm smile.
Hang on, Zern. Ugh.
Ah, smells of home.
I should have summoned this one instead. That was a mistake on my part, but again, we're just trying out.
You meant my shield?
I'll trade this. Gonna be down to 6, but that's fine. Okay, down to 4.
And grow strong.
Again, you really have to take these risks. Or risks, cause
Here comes the punchline.
and we're gonna summon 2 Vi's. Oh my gosh. I can't believe we're going to lose to an AI. But as you see, this deck is really vulnerable to frostbite.
Punch it.
What we can do now
Being
is
polite. Eat this. Freeze.
get rid of those that will survive if ever they block this.
Freeze. Eat this.
So that way, we get to trade properly. But again,
Sometimes I see hard just
doesn't
needs
look like
warm
that's gonna happen.
Left foot, left foot. Just like we practiced.
Annoying, but
Arthur, down.
it's already happened, so we can't do anything.
You're not alone. Brom is here. My shield is my good luck. Have fun.
Where are you going?
Gonna have to
Hold
trade
up.
this. Trade this. Trade. We're gonna be down to 1.
Hang on, Zern.
I'm gonna wanna have to put Vi through 10.
For a leap of faith.
Here's the fun part. Trouble coming at ya. That's how we do it.
Hopefully we can end it next round.
I've got these.
Thankfully, yes, I guess.
This'll take the chill off.
See, if it weren't for the big guys, we won't be able to survive this. Now we're gonna end next round with Vice Effect plus Twin Disciple to Navori Conspirator, even Navori Blade Scout. Actually, we need Navori Blade Scout.
They picked the wrong row.
Head it in. Eat this.
This should deal 7 plus 5, 12. Alright, because he did that, I'm gonna have to do this. So that we end it now.
Face meet fist.
There we go. Took a while, but we were able to come back from that. So mid-range, we have a chance if they don't run those big creatures, but if they will running big creatures, we're pretty much screwed. This deck is very, very, very vulnerable against mid-range. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. So this deck is really good on its own, but against certain matchups, I'm very confident that we're gonna have to auto surrender if that's going to happen. But if you can find any alternatives, feel free to do so, because we do have a couple of cards here that will allow us to withstand control, but not enough to withstand mid-range, because they will build bigger, and it's going to be an issue for us. Pretty much that's it. I hope you enjoy this. I know I understand that I wasn't able to stream. I'm really sorry. So hopefully this compensates for the lost live stream, and I hope you enjoy my contents. If you have any suggestions or any ideal cards that you want to be featured, feel free to comment down in the comment section below. And if you want to continue supporting me, please follow and like this page, share it to your friends, share it to your local groups. And if you want to support me financially, you can always send me stars when I'm on live. But if not, I'm gonna drop the link to my Patreon or my donation link to this video. I'm not really that much familiar with the Patreon and donation. I just made an account for them, but hopefully they will be able to help me support myself and hopefully make this more of like a permanent profession. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you when I'm able to go live. So that's pretty much it. Bye.